Welcome back, everybody, to another fun book review. And today we're going to be taking a look at Guide to Making Fire Without Matches by Christopher Nyerges. And yes, I did pronounce his last name correctly, because I know who this is. So, before we get into the book review and what I think, I just want to touch upon the author and how the author had a big effect in my life. Christopher Nyerges is a name I immediately recognized when I saw this book. Back in the 1980s, when I was in high school, when I got out of high school, I used to go to my part-time job, do that, and then I would go home. But a lot of times before I would go home, I would swing by the local drugstore, and they had a large newsprint rack. And I would always look for the outdoor magazines and stuff like that for the new month. And that is how I got introduced to Christopher Nyerges. There was a magazine back in the 80s. I heard that they restarted it. I've seen a few issues of it. Not impressed. It's not as good as it was in the 80s. Called American Survival Guide. And Christopher used to put a lot of pieces in that magazine as a contributing author, mainly on edible wild plants. So every month I would be picking up a magazine, and almost every month there was an article in there from Christopher. And I really got heavily interested in the outdoors, especially wild outdoor plants, because of this man. So when I was trolling my local bargain place and I saw this in Alley's Outlet, I immediately grabbed it. No hesitation. Christopher Nyerges, he's been around since the 70s. Him and his wife Dolores, they founded the School of Self-Reliance, where he is still the executive director today. Their mailing address is in Eagle Rock, California. They're on the West Coast. And their website is pretty interesting. You can go to the website and you can see their schedule month by month. And it seems like every month they offer a free course on something. So if you're on the West Coast in the California area, you might want to check it out, because if I lived out there, I would be at every one of their free offerings each month. And I would probably be paying to be at their other stuff, okay? They have a lot of really good people working in that School of Self-Reliance. So, enough of saying that. Let's get into this book. Now, they listed on Amazon as having 160 pages. I don't see that. Mine only has 148, and I've read all the way through this cover to cover. There is no missing pages. So I don't know if that's a typo on Amazon or what. This is a relatively recent book, copyright 2020. So it's only 4 years old. They have it in two formats. This format, which is the paperback, and they have it in Kindle. In paperback like this, it's in the $15 to $16 range. In Kindle, it's in the $12 to $13 range. Now, let's get into our categories. I base my reviews on books in 4 categories. Each category has possible 5 stars, with a possible 20 stars for the perfect book. So, first category is content. By the title, you get what the content is. And it is there. I give it 5 out of 5 stars for content. Pictures. There is a ton of color photography in here, and they're very well done. 5 out of 5 stars. Illustrations. There's not a lot of illustrations in here. Some of them are pretty well done. Some are, I would say, average. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars for illustrations. value. Now this is everything combined. This almost got 5 stars. I had to stop myself though, because as good as this book is, and as much information as it gives you on the topic, he's missing a few things. I'm not going to go into what's missing here. It's not huge, but if you're a fanatic about this kind of stuff like I am, you're probably watching David West's channel. And David has a lot of techniques on there I have not seen anywhere else. Yeah, and that's missing from here. So this is almost a complete volume, but it's not. So 4.5 out of 5 stars for value. That gives us 17.5 stars out of 20. That's a pretty good rating. Pretty good. Now let's give you a look at the back cover. As you can see, I got it for $3 at Ollie's Outlet. How crazy is that? I'll give you a look here inside, briefly. Color photography. There's one of the illustrations. Illustration, more photography. It's a lot of good information. So if you're serious about learning how to make primitive fire without matches, you know, there's a lot of good stuff in here. I would recommend this book highly, but it's not the end-all be-all. I'm still waiting for David West to make a book. I'm hoping he does someday. But until then, this is the book I recommend. So buy it, don't buy it. That is entirely up to you. And I will see you all later on out in the woods, maybe making a fire from something you learned in here. Everybody have a wonderful night, and thank you for watching.